The following episode of the Toddcast was previously recorded on March 14th. What is a normal day for a mayor? How hard is it to run a political campaign? And what was it like being mayor during COVID? Well, we talk about all that and more on this episode of the Toddcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toddcast. As always, I'm your host, Todd McManus, and today is a very special episode because joining me is the mayor of Tallulah, Louisiana, Mayor Charles Finlayson. Mayor Finlayson, how are you doing today?
Fine, how are you?
Doing good. It is I don't know what the weather's doing. I don't know if it's either going to be cold or warm, cloudy, rain. I don't know what's going on anymore, to be honest with you. But how are you doing on this cloudy day today?
Well, I just stick my head out, and whatever it is, I dress with that.
that's what I do.
For a short answer. So
I wanted to go ahead and ask you just this random question that I thought of the other day. It is a would you rather question. So do you consider yourself more of an outdoorsy person, like going outside or hunting or anything like that?
I don't hunt, but I am an outdoor person.
Okay.
Very much so.
So if you had this to pick one of these, would you rather spend one whole week out in the forest, no house, you just got to live on your own just for a week, or one whole night in an actual real haunted house?
I would take the outdoor.
The week in the forest?
Yeah, I think that's, yes, sir.
Because it's like, depends on if you believe in ghosts and supernatural
I don't,
stuff and all that. But
I look behind me when I close my door at home.
Yeah. But I would have to probably go with the week in the forest,
yeah.
Same as you there. So I wanted to go ahead and go back a while to when you graduated high school. Let's go back all the way then. Whenever the day that happened, what was it that you wanted to do? Like, what was your plan of, like, I'm going to be an adult, this is what I want to do? What did you want to do when you graduated?
Well, first of all, a friend of mine talked me into going to summer school at LSU. It would give me a head start on entering college.
Yeah.
I found out quick that LSU is really the expectations and the courses there are way more than I was accustomed to.
Yeah.
And after a year there, I left there. And then I went to Northeast, and I worked my way through school. Got down to senior year, and the funds ran out, and I did not go back. I regret that, but I think I have a little bit of education on there.
Yeah.
I completed the 3 years, but I think I've done all right in my life.
Yeah. When you were in college, was there like a set thing of what you wanted to do or anything that?
My folks had a farm.
Okay.
And they farmed, and I thought I would go back and be a part of that, but it didn't work out.
Yeah.
And my first job, I worked for an ag equipment company for several years, and then a friend of mine had the Sonic Drive-In here,
Yeah.
and I worked for him for about 5 years. And then a good friend of mine had a parts store, bumper to bumper. At that time it was Big A. And he called me and said, I need somebody, and I think you do a good job. And I said, well, we'll try it. So I was there for 33 years.
That's a good long time to be there.
Oh, yeah. And I enjoyed it. Meeting the public. We had hundreds of customers.
Yeah.
I enjoyed seeing the people every day. It's a big change from being at the parts store at the counter than being in the office for the mayor.
Yeah. And you said you were there for 33 years.
33 years.
And I saw this, that you were on the city council for 33 years as well.
Well, my first year when I was working at the parts store, there was an election, and the feeling of the community is they needed a change from the mayor and the councilman. And we were in a convenience store, and the guy said, "Man, why don't you try that?" I said, "No, you know." I said, "You think you may not get any votes, you know?"
Yeah.
So I said, "I don't have any political aspirations or any, you know." So I said, "No, well, small town politics are all they are." 2 or 3 people came by my house and said, "We heard you're going to run for city council." I said, No. We had another man that this group wanted to elect, and so it rocked on a couple of weeks, and then I had some really influential, prominent citizens call me and said, "We need some younger people on the board," and I was about 31, I guess then, and I said, "Okay, I'll qualify." Then after I qualified, I said, "Now, what you gonna do if you get elected?"
Yeah.
You know, and I was kind of thought there was 3 people: the incumbent, myself, and another man who was a good friend of mine. I said, "Well, that's my main goal is to win. I wasn't just in there to just see if I could win. I wanted to win, and being from Tallulah is the thing that pushed me over the top, because the other candidate, he was kind of the front runner, but he wasn't from here.
Yeah.
And when I campaigned, well, I knocked on the door, and it's small town stuff. "Well, I went to school with your daddy. I went to school with your mama. I know you. You know, I know your family."
Yeah.
So that gave me the confidence that I said, "You know, I can do this." You know, I wasn't intimidated by it. And then at the election day, I won at the first round. I got over 50%. So here I am, elected to the city council. Now what you going to do? Reality sets in, and small town politics are just as vicious as big city politics. And I learned real quick how the things go. I can say this: I think I did a good job. I was on there a long time. Only twice somebody challenged me. I don't know if that was they thought I did a good job, or nobody wanted to be in politics.
Yeah.
A lot of people, you know, stay away from it. A lot of people after the first term realized, you know, I don't want to do this. It does take a lot of time, a lot of your time, and it was part time. You know, it wasn't a full time job, but you know, it's I made it through 5 or 6 elections.
Yeah.
And then the current mayor died in office, Paxton Branch. I think he had a heart attack and he died. And we appointed a person to fill his place till we could have an election. And I ran, and I made the runoff, and then I won. So now
here we are.
Here we are again, like the first time I was a councilman. Here I am. You're the mayor of Tallulah. Now you're going to have to make some big decisions down the road. That's the biggest thing. Councilman, people complain about the ditch or the road.
Yeah.
The tree limb in the middle of the road. You know, you need to do this for me and all that. But the garbage not picked up or whatever. But when you get in the seat, the mayor's seat, it's
everything.
It's everything. My phone rings constantly.
Yeah.
I probably averaged 25, 30 phone calls a day.
Yeah.
And everybody's problem is the biggest thing in their life.
Yeah.
You know, I try to always try to respond and get back with them, so at least they know I care about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are things I can do real quick. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes I can do things. Sometimes I can't. You know, so like a small town, everybody knows everybody, and they expect you to, when they call you, they want you to drop you and you know, go see. But you know, there's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of things that you have to do. You know, you can't just come in here, sit around for 8 hours or whatever and leave. I mean, there are all kind of reports. I mean, there's stuff that's legal things that we have to tend to, and you're responsible for the whole town.
Yeah.
You know, being a councilman, you got a district maybe, you know, a mile square, but where you're in the mayor's seat, you represent everybody.
Yeah.
And, I think most people accept the mayor's position. You got some people that you don't ever hear about. You don't ever hear. They'll thank you. Some people that, well, you need to do this or that. And you have people that complain all the time, But that's just part of the job.
Yeah.
I knew that when I was going in, and I've tried to do the best I could.
Yeah. And when you were towards the couple years ago, whenever the previous mayor passed away, what made you decide that you wanted to run for mayor?
Same thing as my first time as a councilman. I had some people. Now, I got elected across the board in the town. I didn't get just one group. I got all across town. And I had some people come to me, like, why don't you run for mayor? And the whole feeling came back when I first ran for council. And I thought about it, and then I said, I'll try. And like I say, I think there was 5 people running then, and I got in the runoff with an ex-councilman, and then I won the seat.
Yeah.
So here I am, the mayor of Tallulah. And it was for 2 years.
Yeah.
That's why we have an election coming up next month, the end of this month.
And so, whenever you found out that you were elected mayor, did you ever have a moment of like, I'm the mayor now? Like, did you ever have that realization moment?
Yeah,
like, I'm the mayor?
Very much so. No, I thought the council seat was kind of warm, but the mayor's seat is always warm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went home. Of course, all my friends were there and family, and they were real proud of me. And people coming by, shaking my hand, a steady stream that night. Next morning, people coming by. I felt like that I had the support of the town, not just one area or one precinct or one district. I thought the people that embraced me and that said, you can do the job. And it's a learning process. Yeah. You find out quick what you can and can't do, and I'm responsible. We have about 48 employees, and coordinating things on a daily basis. And you got your department heads. I know you've heard about the water problems we had in Tallulah.
I have.
Now we're on course to rehab the water plant.
Yeah.
We should start that pretty soon. It's about a year or a little over a year project, and I think that will satisfy a lot of people. That's the biggest complaint.
Yeah.
The water is fine. It's checked by the Department of Health, but we treat with lime because that's what you do with the water up and down this river, and the filtration system is old, like 60 years old.
Yeah.
And no matter if you have new filters, that filtration system lets lime through. So the lime is just discolored. It's not hurting anybody, but people don't like to see the yellow. And we don't have a problem in some areas. Some areas do. In washing the clothes, especially the white clothes, and they're tinted when they come out. But we get the water company going. I think that'll be a big plus. We've applied for some funding to do some of the streets. Infrastructure here in Tallulah's an old town.
Yeah.
It's way over 100 years old. It's probably about 130 years old.
Yeah.
Our streets, we hadn't had a real major street repair program in years. Streets are extremely expensive.
Yeah. We
had 3 blocks overlaid, really nice, down to the old bed, and it was a little over $60,000 just to three blocks. Yeah. So you see that it's expensive.
Yeah.
So we need to do some work on the streets. We got a good fire department. Our rating is good. We got excellent fire chief. Our police department's doing a good job. And our street department is doing a good job as best we can with the equipment. When you buy equipment like excavators or a bulldozer, you're talking $100,000. So we tried to replace some of our old equipment, and we have. And like I say, it's just a day-to-day grind. You know, streets, fire protection, police protection, digging the ditches. That's pretty much, you know, those everyday problems.
Yeah. And so, now that you've been here for a couple of years now, what would you say is your favorite part of being the mayor?
Trying to make a change, or make Tallulah, people of Tallulah, they will see Tallulah in a big light.
Yeah.
You know, for years, you know, we had some problems, and now I think we're overcoming those. And I want to make people that to live here, come through here, have a positive image of the town. You know, we're trying to clean up, as all small towns. We got a litter problem.
Yeah.
We got some old properties. We have the downtown. A lot of old buildings need to be torn down. We have a lot of old homes in the older part of town that are dilapidated and need to, you know, be removed. I've got a code enforcer now that's addressing some of those problems. Again, it's expensive to do that, you know, and we have a lot of absentee property owners.
Yeah.
And you know, if you see it every day, or you're living in another town, you don't think about it as you would if you see it every day. So we're trying to address them, get letters out to tell the people, you know, we need you to clean up your property. And that's not an overnight thing, but we've started, and we've had a lot of success.
And so, I did want to mention, you said that there is an election coming up in the next month.
Yeah.
And you are in that election,
Yeah.
correct? Do you plan on this next election of being the mayor as your final one, or do you want to keep going until as long as you're being elected? Like, how long would you like to stay mayor?
I'm 66.
Okay.
So if I win this time, the 4-year term, I'll be 70.
Yeah.
And I'll cross that bridge when I get there.
Okay.
I'm going to do the best I can for the 4 years I'm in there.
Okay.
And but I'll assess that at the end and see how it goes.
And see if you think you can for another 4 years, or newer person.
You know, it may be.
Yeah.
But like I say, I'll assess that, and I'll make a decision that time.
Okay. And so I did want to talk about a little bit that when COVID first hit 2 years ago, almost this week, 2 years ago, was when all the lockdowns happened, colleges and everything was shutting down. What was it like here in Tallulah and for you when COVID first hit?
Well, the whole world changed.
Yeah.
I mean, people didn't want to get you close to you. You couldn't shake hands. Everybody wearing a mask. People getting sick.
Yeah.
Employees having to come down with it and had to stay home 2 weeks or more.
Yeah.
And then they come back and some family members had it. I mean, it just changed your whole life. Yeah. And I think that's across the board. I mean, in a small town, we only have so many employees, you know, and it was a big strain to the people that did not have it to keep the city going. And, you know, eventually, that's the first time I've ever had going through something like that. You know, you get a cold or you get the measles or whatever, then you're over with it. The virus, you were never over because everybody got it. It wasn't like one or two or a childhood disease you get. It just changed everybody's life. And then water, you know, we had problems with the water plant, and that played into a thing. But still, the people here, they kind of adjusted. It's slowing down, but most people still wear a mask now, for one reason or another.
Yeah.
That's kind of been relaxed here. I think in hospitals and some public places, they still want you to wear a mask. This COVID has changed all of our lives, and I don't think we'll ever get rid of it. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I think it's here to stay, and different variants that come out every time say, well, this one is gone, this is another one.
Yeah.
We're just going to have to learn to live with it.
Yeah.
most of the people I think that passed away had some other conditions, and when the virus just was too much for them to overcome, and we've lost a lot of people in Tallulah, and I'm sure a small town, you know, but yeah, it's not gonna go away. I never believe that. I think it's here to stay.
Yeah.
We just have to be more careful how we interact with each other.
And do you think Tallulah as a city did well handling COVID?
I think so. The people realized what we had to do, and you know, to be safe. You know, I think everybody knows what, you know. This is what we got to do to make it through this virus, and hopefully survive it.
Yeah.
Like I say, we lost a lot of folks, and you know that was a bad side.
And so, you like you said, you and your wife actually had COVID towards like the beginning of it. What was that like? Well, what was that whole experience for you?
I had it, but I didn't have any symptoms.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, that just, you know, when you have a cold, you have a cold.
Yeah.
You know, but if you have the flu, I think that's most people say it was like the flu.
Yeah.
My wife did have a little bit, but after a few days, she was good. And like I say, after 2 days, I had no problems.
Yeah.
But the whole time I was trying to think in my mind, when it's going to hit me. You know, I said, well, maybe I'm not going to have any symptoms, or maybe it's going to hit me at one time and I'm really going to be sick.
You were just waiting on it.
I was waiting for something to happen that never happened. Now, that sounds crazy, but that's why this virus is so unpredictable.
Yeah.
And everybody's different.
Yeah.
Everybody. You know, I've seen some people that got it, have had it twice.
Yeah.
And
some people have to go to the hospital for
the hospital, you couldn't even get in the door of the hospital. People were getting checked. We didn't allow a lot of people in the office and all. We had all our facilities, you know, sanitized. This is the first time in my life I had to wear a mask.
Yeah.
I don't even think there was a box of them in any drugstore.
Yeah.
Now you got them on every convenience store.
Yeah.
It was just a different way of life. And people had to adapt and change, and people don't like to change, but I think this made them do it.
And so now that COVID's kind of died down really a lot, you know, we're more lenient, and there's all those new guidelines coming out of you really don't have to wear a mask if you're vaccinated and boosted and all these shots and all that. And you think that we're kind of like, and I agree with what you said. I don't think it's never going to go away. I think it's like it's going to be another cold and flu. It's just COVID's another disease we got with. Yeah. Do you think that Tallulah is pretty well off now?
I think so. It's tapering off. We still have a few cases. I don't know the exact amount, but not like we had. You know, we were in one of the higher rate in all the state parishes.
Yeah.
Madison Parish was one of the higher numbers for a long time. Of course, we're right here on Highway 80, 65, I-20.
Yeah.
So we're getting people coming from all across the country. We're not an isolated town.
Yeah.
But I think people, all in all, a lot of people are more cautious. I'd say probably a third of the people are really scared of, you know, getting this again.
Yeah.
I think most people are going back to work, and they're just tired of wearing a mask. They're tired of being away from people. They're tired of not even having to see their relatives. You know, it's just changed our lifestyle. Something that if you would have told me this 10 years ago, I would never believed it.
Yeah.
So things have just changed, but this is what you do when you're presented with the problem that you can't cure.
Yeah.
And like I say, I don't think it's never going away.
Yeah, I agree with that. Getting closer towards the end here, if there's anybody out there that's listening to this that are considering to run for mayor or even the city council, what advice would you give to somebody like that?
First thing you got to do is talk to your family. If your family's not on board, you don't need to do it.
Okay.
All right. Now, I was single when I was first elected. If you are thinking about on the city council or the mayor, you've got to have the time to do the job, because council be his part-time job, but the mayor seat, it's not 8-hour days, it's 24-hour days.
Yeah.
The biggest thing the best thing I could say is get with your family and see how they think about it, because your life will change big time. And I think politics has always been kind of a rough road, but sometimes it's what you make it, but sometimes it's just that's what comes along with the program. I mean, you're going to have some hard times. You're going to have some people that really give you a hard time. You got some people that accept the way things go. You have people that want to help, and and there are some positive people. There's some negative people. You deal with both. If anybody's thinking about getting in public office, you need to talk with your family, and if everybody's on board, you're okay. But if you think it's going to be a problem, you don't need to do it.
Yeah. So, with all that being said, is there anything that you'd like to say again or add to the end of this episode?
No, I thank you for coming by. I don't want anybody to be scared to run for office. I hope anybody doesn't take this bad, but or negative, but it's just the nature of the job.
Yeah.
But it's a good experience, I tell you. I always thought that everybody should be in public office for one time.
Yeah.
And they would have a different attitude on things.
Yeah.
Well, like I say, everybody's different. You have your good and your bad times. That's in any job. It's sometimes it's stressful. Sometimes it's rewarding. It can be what you want it to be.
Yeah.
And I think, especially in this position, it takes you a couple of years to get the feel of things and know how things go. But you just can't come in here every morning and just see, what's going to happen today. You've got to plan and make sure everything's in place to be successful.
Well, I think that's going to end it for this episode. I want to thank you for joining me today, and hopefully you might have to join me in the future.
Oh, yeah, anytime. Come back. I'll do better on the next one.
All right, well, thank you for being here.
Okay.
As always, please rate and subscribe, and if you're listening on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe, and click that bell to get notified when new videos are uploaded. And make sure you follow the Toddcast only on Instagram at @_Toddcast_ for all your Toddcast social media needs. Make sure you tell your friends and your family or anybody really to give it a listen. And thank all of you for listening to this episode. And if you want to know what's going to happen next week, well, I guess you're just going to have to tune in to find out. Only on the Toddcast.